Hi everyone, I'm here today to share a poem with you called His Story. I wrote this poem a long time before all of this human zoo exhibition stuff started happening, and the reason why I'm posting it today is in response to um, any kind of views or excuse making where people are claiming that this is educational and that it's an important part of history. I think there's a lot more important parts of history, personally, that have been hidden from the mainstream and that we could make art out of and we could educate ourselves or educate others about. I'm not going to go on about how I feel about the exhibition because that much is obvious, and I don't want to take up this whole video ranting about it. So I'm posting this poem today in solidarity with all of you who are attending the protest. Unfortunately, I'm on holiday, otherwise I would have been there. Many thanks to Akala and Anthony and Aksuguru, who I know are going to carry the message with such eloquence. And yeah, I just hope it all works out. I think, the amount of people that have come out in outrage trying to boycott this exhibition, I really, really hope that on this occasion somebody listens, because it's not right. So without further ado, I'm going to read my poem, His Story. It's quite long and, like I said, quite old, so I haven't memorised it. Apologies if I'm like breaking eye contact. Apologies if there's any issues with the quality, because I've never done this before. This is all on iMovie on a really old MacBook. So I'm going to be reading it off the screen, and I hope that you all can relate to what I'm saying. Isn't history just his story? Not even hers, because women's views aren't a part of his story. We're listening to their truths while other truths we're ignoring. We're there snoring, time to wake up, it's a cold morning. And who is the man who wrote this story? Why is it that he never did say sorry? For all that he excluded when he wrote his story. For all the false data that he recorded poorly. For seeing the black man and rewriting his story. Enslaving and raping and taking his glory. Why was it up to him to choose which story got printed on the pages and which got ignored? See, there's something in the air that smells kind of funny when the power's held in the white hand that holds the money. If I were Africa, couldn't deny they took it from me. Rumble in the jungle, there's a hunger in my tummy. A hunger for the truth, that insatiable pain. Still fighting like the candle that still burns in the rain. And if you listen to their lies, they will turn you insane. Turn gods into peasants, turn you to a slave. But who is to blame when you read his story? Go to the schools, see them teach his story. Go to the church, hear them preach his story. And who are you not to believe his story? See, his story is a one of a kind. Inconvenient details just faded with time. They never made it to the pages. Their spots taken in your mind by some other information that was made to turn you blind. See, that story wasn't his when it was written and designed, but he has taken center stage and we are sitting at the side. Criminalized if our views don't fit in with the lies, but they'll know the word defiance, because it's written in our eyes. See, peace and harmony is a doctrine they despise, so they would write about the wars they used to divide. They would write about the chains with which they tied human beings using profit to justify the crime. Take the human word and pretend that it's divine. Holy books in modern languages not spoken at that time. What is this? Our trust in lies will lead to our demise. Offer newspapers the truth, guess what? They will decline. So his story's thriving out there, still being written. Money talks in the West, and what do? Listen, there's an army of zombies in America and Britain, caged in ignorance, not even knowing they're imprisoned. And if they found out, it would blow their mind. They would want a refund because they've been sold a lie. But if every conscious scholar worked overtime, they still couldn't replace all the stolen time, all the stolen knowledge, all the stolen facts. What they stole from the past will be stolen back. It's a heavy load to carry with a broken back, but I'll never stop trying till I've shown them that his story is not my history. Gonna find all the parts he thought he hid from me. The play with the missing scene is no longer a mystery. They came before Columbus, but Columbus told it differently. And the curriculum, taxes and tuition fees. We pay them to turn his story into history. Why is it that master is in the name of his degree? PhD for so-called doctors who don't even heal. They only read, write, and speculate. regurgitating his story, helping it to elevate. His power and supremacy they use the past to demonstrate. His accomplishments, the only thing the books can celebrate. But don't ask why the plague of London was so vicious. Ask why they didn't have hygienic sewage systems, when if you look back at ancient Aztecs and Egyptians, they were more civilized than 17th century Britain. And don't question the idea that Jesus Christ was white with long straight hair and bright blue eyes. Don't question the barbarism of all the tribes that the missionaries brought from the darkness to the light. His story says he saved them from worthless existence. His story neglects to acknowledge their wisdom. His story serves a purpose, its agenda is to trick us, sugar-coated so we find his story delicious. Easier to swallow than the murder and destruction. Sweeter on the tongue than ideological corruption, but take a dictionary and rewrite the definitions, and it's fair to expect for your motives to be questioned. But his story is perfectly acceptable, because although the evidence is easily detectable, it stays buried deep like the root of a vegetable. We feel like accepting what they feed us is more sensible. And in this age where so much change is taking place, it's hard to think that one day we'll be an ancient race. What parts of our story will his printed page replace with his doctrines, his nonsense, him saving face? What will the textbooks say about the riots? Yob culture gone mad or organized defiance? All of the injustice, how will they deny it? Condemnation of our nation, how will they justify it? How will they look back on the age of Obama? Will they write him as the puppet or as the puppet master? Demonize the Middle East and blame them for disasters when the two towers fell, the truth fell harder. Open a book. Will they smell the pollution? The black smoke of the Industrial Revolution? Will they say it caused problems which still await solutions, or just that it was vital to the nation's evolution? See, it's up to you to tell your story. Make your kids and your grandkids not forget your story. See, in the spoken word you can preserve your glory, and they will overstand once they've heard your story. And our story will rise up and be heard. Our story will fly like a free bird and trample his story right down to the deep earth. The truth never died, but it's time for the rebirth. Again, in solidarity with all who attended the protest today against the human zoo, stand up.